Hello and welcome to Rise Up with B. Dave Walters. Simple solutions to life's hard questions. Broadcasting live on Party 93.4 FM in Hudson Valley, New York, and Party 94.9 and worldwide on Party93.4.com. And apparently Jimi Hendrix wants to play, so I'm just let him play in the background. I didn't even intend for Purple Haze to start yet, but apparently the universe wanted me to lay a little bit of Hendrix on you. So here we go. Got a little bit of Jimi Hendrix going. Yeah. So how you doing tonight? We're back again, another good day. And I'm going to let Jimmy go for about 10 more seconds here, just out of respect to him, before I kind of ease him out. All right. Let's go ahead and stop you now, Jimmy. So, all right. So that's it. You're listening live. Good times. And one thing I didn't say is that also the video portion of this is broadcasting on justin.tv/B Dave Walters. So if you're listening on the computer and you prefer to look me in the eye rather than just listen, you can do that. But if you do that, you won't be able to hear the music. So get to see my pretty face, can't hear what I'm playing. Life is full of trade-offs. Right. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about things like your mindset and your outlook, and the way how you look at things changes your reality. And we talked a little bit about this last week, which is one of the reasons why I want to go a little deeper into it this week. But my goal is to lay these things down for you in such a way that makes them make sense, but not just makes them make sense, but makes them actually usable and applicable in your life. Does that make sense? Because there's a lot of gurus and teachers and authors and things out there that honestly write kind of a lot of crap, or they just say things like, all you need is love. Just stay positive and it'll work out. And I'm like, that's kind of true, kind of. But when you're out there on the pointy end, when your bills are due, when you lost your job, when you don't know how you're going to pay for Pampers, just telling you to, you know, basically stay positive isn't always enough. So what I do is I work to make sure that I phrase these things and show you these things in such a way that you can actually apply it, actually use it, actually make some real long and lasting change in your life. So with that being said, the first thing I want to do is ask you a little question here. You've probably heard it before. What is the sound of one hand clapping? What is the sound of one hand clapping? But don't feel bad. It's not going to be totally rhetorical. I'm actually going to tell you the answer to this question. I'm just not going to tell you right now. So last week we talked about the 7 universal laws. One of them was the law of mentalism. And as a part of the law of mentalism, we talked about something called Schlesinger's cat. And I got tongue-tied then, and I'm getting tongue-tied now with Schlesinger's cat. But here's the reason why I got tongue-tied. Because it's not Schlesinger's cat, it's Schrodinger's cat. And I can say Schrodinger, so my brain was trying to tell me, Dave, you're saying the guy's name wrong. That's why you can't say it right. But that's okay. Schrodinger's cat. And I'm going to do you one better. I found a really good explanation for what it is. It's just a minute and a half long, and I want to lay this on you because it's directly relevant to what we're going to talk about today. So this is really important. I'm going to lay this down, a minute and a half explanation of Schrodinger's cat and how it really works. Here we go. Yeah, for you, those of you watching on Justin TV, it's a minute and a half explanation of Schrodinger's cat. So I'm not going to bother to stop the stream this time because in the time I turned it off and turned it back on, I would already be done. So just bear with me for about a minute here. Or you can go on YouTube and look up Schrodinger's cat, and you can watch the description or watch the video, and it'll explain to you what it is and how it works. Okay. And I'm going to try and figure out why my music played. You couldn't hear it, but right after my theme song, it started playing something else in the queue, something else that I don't even have set up to play right now. So I'm kind of like, oh, hey, that's awesome. Good times. Little Jimi Hendrix jumped in. So I'm going to try and have that not happen this time. Okay. So again, I got Muse playing now, which is interesting because I don't have Muse set to play, But the universe apparently wanted music to play in the background while I start explaining Schrodinger's cat. So the reason why I played that then, and the reason why I brought it up last week, and the number one thing that I really want you to take from all of that is the fact that the cat is literally both alive and dead at the same time. When it is in the box, until someone or something takes the time to observe it and takes the time to see it for what it is literally both. Not just you can think of it as the same thing. And this is why I started with what's the sound of one hand clapping, even though I'm not going to tell it to you just yet, is because you get these ideas, these things like, well, if something's not around to observe it, then what is it really, right? And the answer is it is literally both things. In this example, the cat is literally alive and dead at the same time. And it is not until somebody actually opens the box, looks inside, and sees what it is that it basically becomes that thing. So why am I going on about this 2 weeks in a row now? The idea behind it is then that this is the way the universe actually works, okay? That things are not just good or not just bad. They're actually both simultaneously. That your job isn't just good and bad, that your dream car isn't there and not there. All of these things just kind of exist as potential. And it's not until somebody actually looks at it and makes an observation that it starts to become that thing. So as you look at your life then, and you say things to yourself like, my job sucks, then the actual reality of it, at least for you, starts to become that your job sucks. And even if it's not just you, like let's say if you have a workplace where you have lots of unhappy people in there. You ever walked into a room, like bars are a really good place for this, especially if it's a bar at a time that nobody should be drinking at like 2 in the afternoon. And you walk in and that just wave of negativity just kind of hits you like, ugh, yeah, right? That's because all of those people, or at least the majority of those people, are looking at this situation in such a way that's making it feel like a negative situation. And by extension, it is that negative situation. Or if you go to a sporting event, you ever, like, I'll tell you, I got a little confession. I used to be a really big wrestling fan, like pro wrestling. You might not expect it, but it's like a soap opera for men. What can you do? But I would go to live events. And when they would start and the music would play and The Rock would come out or Stone Cold Steve Austin would come out and you just have 30,000 people all kind of go crazy at the same time, there is nothing like that in this world. There is nothing at all like so many people being so excited and so happy about the same thing at the same time. It's electric. And this is why. Because you're creating this environment. Everybody is agreeing on the reality of this situation and how fantastic it is, right? So as you look at your life, and this is a roundabout explanation of this, as you look at your life, you can start choosing then. You can start choosing what is really good and what is really bad. And obviously, if you have that choice, then you don't have to choose anything being really bad. It's like people ask me all the time, hey, how are you today? And I say, I'm great. You know, day's great. I woke up this morning. Means it's a good day. That's my benchmark for a good day. If it starts, if I get out of bed and I can walk and talk and see and hear, good day, right? If my kids can walk, talk, see and hear, my wife, she can walk, talk, see and hear, it's a good day already. Everything else from that point is just bonus, right? Because I've chosen to frame my life and I've chosen to frame my perception of things in such a way that I always feel good about what's going to happen. And even when things come up that might be a little more stressful, which happens to me just like it happens to everybody else. In fact, I can tell you on a day-to-day basis, I deal with things that would probably crush most people, but it just doesn't faze me because I don't allow it to faze me. I don't look at problems as problems. I look at problems like they're opportunities. Opportunities to learn, opportunities to grow, opportunities to be taken to a new place or in a new direction in my life, right? Because today is actually a very special day for my Hindu brothers and sisters. I'm not going to say the name of the holiday because I'll say it wrong, but it's the holiest day of the year for the god Shiva, for the Hindu god Shiva. And I'm going to do something for my Hindu brothers and sisters a little later in the show. But Shiva, if you don't know, is actually the Hindu god of destruction. he's the god of lots of things, but one of the things he is the god of destruction. There's a trinity of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Brahma creates, Vishnu preserves, Shiva destroys. Christians are already familiar with the idea of God being three in one at the same time. Hindus have the same idea. Actually, lots of religions have the idea of God being three in one at the same time. But what Shiva does is he doesn't destroy just for the sake of destruction. Shiva destroys so that new things can be created in their place. Shiva destroys mental blocks. Shiva destroys obstacles. Shiva destroys things that have become old and stagnant and don't work anymore. And that's what Shiva's function is, right? Shiva's also the god of dancing and the god of sex. So you can think for yourself, what's the correlation between dancing, destruction, and sex, right? Yeah, I'll leave that to you to figure out. So you can look at this in your life again. What are some of the things that are there that you can kind of get rid of? What are some of the old thought patterns that you've adopted that aren't really serving you anymore? Maybe you worry a lot. What's that get you? Because here's the thing about worry. Remember last week how I showed you could feel good at any time, whenever you wanted? How that you just had to vividly imagine a time that you were truly happy and you would feel truly happy again? Worry works in the exact opposite way. Worry takes something bad from the future and brings it into the present moment. Worry is saying, oh my God, the cat's dead in advance. And by extension, the cat really is dead now because you believe the cat is dead. You believe the horrible thing is already taking place. And you feel the emotions of that terrible thing happening right now, which is bad for two reasons. Not only do you feel bad right now for something that hasn't actually happened yet, but you're also making it more likely that that thing is going